It's an exciting new era for flip phones. After several years of Samsung leading the pack against a series of far less exciting options, the landscape has expanded to provide more choice than ever for folks who want all the advantages of the biggest smartphones in a form factor that folds down into a pocket square. This means you can now find an assortment of flip phones for nearly every need and budget. And while the selection still falls far short of the best Android phones, which are available in all shapes and sizes, there are some pretty amazing flip phones that boast power, versatility, and most importantly, won't break the bank. With so many options available on the market, choosing the right flip phones can be challenging. That's why, in this video, I'll be discussing the 5 best flip phones. You can find the links to the best prices for each product in the description below. Please note that the products are not ranked in any specific order, so make sure to watch until the end so you don't miss any important details. Let's start with number 5, Nubia Flip 5G. High-end design at a mid-range price. Still a relatively niche form factor, you can't expect there to be a ton of cheap clamshell foldables. Last year, Motorola's Razr showed us that it's possible to deliver a competent mid-range device with a folding screen at a price that doesn't break the bank. This year, ZTE spin-off company Nubia is pushing its envelope globally, bringing the $500 Nubia Flip to the States. The Nubia Flip, like the Motorola before it, does make notable sacrifices compared to flagship alternatives. But while true enthusiasts might balk at the Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 SoC, it's honestly fine for day-to-day use. It plays games reasonably well, doesn't suck up too much battery, and rarely gets warm or throttles. Its pixel density is even better than the Z Flip 4's. Where it really shines, though, is in the cover display. The round outer screen feels very much like a smartwatch slapped on a phone, in a good way. We had no trouble navigating and utilizing the various widgets it supports, which give it considerably more functionality than its counterpart in the base model Razr 2023. And taken as a whole, the entire thing looks quite a bit like a $1,000 phone, even though it costs half that. There is a little give in the hinge, and we felt some flex and even heard some rattling periodically, but it nevertheless feels solid and doesn't give us pause in terms of long-term durability. Though be warned, your warranty and repair support here won't compare to Samsung or Motorola. Number 4, Motorola Razr, a budget-friendly flip phone. Flip phones are fantastic devices, but their high price points have kept them out of the hands of more budget-conscious shoppers. Thankfully, last year's Motorola Razr 2023 is great value with its new $500 price tag, flip that script, bringing clamshell designs to the mid-range of devices. Motorola did have to cut some corners, but created another great flip phone, and it's still a fantastic phone in 2024. The Motorola Razr feels great in the hand thanks to its vegan leather finish and similar overall dimensions to its more expensive sibling. It also has the same beautiful internal 6.9-inch LTPO display that the Razr Plus uses. To get the price this low, Motorola had to make some tough decisions. It nixed the large outer display and replaced it with a much smaller and limited 1.5-inch one. It is suitable for reading short messages, but pales in comparison to the larger displays used on the more premium lineup. Motorola also went with a Snapdragon 7 Gen 1 processor and 8GB of RAM. From a power standpoint, this chip is much weaker than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, but is more than capable of handling day-to-day tasks. It may chug along at times, but you'll hardly notice any real-world slowdown. One added benefit of a smaller outer display and the weaker processor is pretty good battery life from the included 4200 mAh battery. Flip phones aren't known for great battery life, so knowing you won't be hunting for a charger, even during heavy usage, is a great feeling. Number 3, Motorola Razr 2024. If this year's Motorola Razr looks familiar, there is a reason. It's remarkably similar to the 2023 Razr Plus with a few changes. First off, there's the price. Motorola has once again made its base Razr line attractive with a $700 price point, making it the most affordable fold in the US. But unlike last year's Razr, the new version features a 3.6-inch outer display, making it capable of more than just notifications. Motorola also improved the hinge for this year, producing a more consistent feel through opening and closing. It's noticeable and a decent upgrade over last year's model. Like its more expensive brother, the Razr also received upgrades under the hood. It's powered by a MediaTek Dimensity 7300X, which gives it respectable performance for daily tasks. As we mentioned in our review, it's probably all the raw power you need unless you're a hardcore gamer. In addition, Moto included 8GB of RAM, helping aid smooth performance in the UI and applications. Even though this year's Razr is a tad thicker, it's worth it since the trade-off is a 492,100 mAh battery, good enough for a day's worth on a single charge, and then some. Mixed use with light gaming and social media was no issue, so you'll rarely battle battery anxiety on typical days. Overall, it's hard to beat the value Motorola offers with the Razr. If you're willing to accept some compromises, as you have to do with smaller fold devices, the Razr is an excellent choice for $700. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. Samsung is indisputably the most venerable name in fold and flip phones, and the Galaxy Z Flip 6 is merely the next chapter in a long line of successes. Sadly, the key word here may be merely. Samsung's lineup of clamshell phones came into its own 2 years ago with the Galaxy Z Flip 4. The changes we've seen since are the epitome of evolutionary rather than revolutionary, to the point where it feels like Samsung may be squandering its lead against upstart challengers like Motorola. That doesn't mean the Galaxy Z Flip 6 doesn't remain a fantastic flip phone, but as we said in our review, it's no longer a slam dunk, especially with a $100 price increase that truly makes it a more premium pick. Still, if you're a fan of Samsung's prior Z Flip models, this one won't disappoint in the slightest. While they're easy to miss at first glance, the Z Flip 6 has some delightful design refinements here that give it a bit of extra panache and make it easier to use. We found the matte aluminum frame looks and feels nicer than the glossier look of past models. And while the days of the fun bespoke editions are behind us, the standard finishes are eye-catching and classy. The cameras now sport an outline that matches the overall color, helping them stand out and delivering a more whimsical look. Samsung has also made some nice camera improvements this year, so if you were hesitant about the quality on prior Z Flip models, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 may be worth a closer look. The specs are similar to the base Galaxy S24, with a 50mm f1.8 main sensor joined by a 12mm f2.2 ultra-wide camera. The only downside is there's still no telephoto lens. Although, like Samsung's other phones, 2x optical quality zooms are possible from the 50mm camera by cropping the shot to the center pixels. We don't think anyone will be disappointed with the photographic prowess of the Galaxy Z Flip 6, but it's still not quite up to the standards of Samsung's standard flagships, much less camera-focused competitors like Google's Pixel. Number 1. Motorola Razr Plus. Best overall. Most stylish flip just got better. Motorola took the Razr Plus we knew and loved from last year and souped it up with an exciting new outer display and improved internals. The outgoing Razr Plus already bested the Galaxy Z Flip 5 with its 3.6-inch external display, but Motorola increased its size to 4 inches for 2024, giving you more room for apps and widgets. It's a gorgeous LTPO OLED refreshing at 165Hz, making for a silky smooth scrolling experience, limiting the number of times you have to open the device for Instagram or X binges. But Motorola didn't stop at cosmetics and outer displays. This year's Razr Plus features some power under the hood with the Snapdragon 8's Gen 3, and an improved 12GB of RAM. It's not quite top-of-the-line flagship power, but it's close enough for most users, giving you plenty of frames in your favorite 808 mobile game. Moto also didn't neglect the internal display, fitting the Razr Plus with a gorgeous 6.9-inch POLED display with a 165Hz refresh rate to match the outer screen. It's a fantastic panel with great color and 3000 nits peak brightness, ideal for outdoor viewing. Once again, the Razr Plus 4000 mAh battery does the job, lasting the entire day on a single charge. And while 45W wired charging isn't the fastest we've ever seen, it's more than adequate to top off quickly. Motorola also added 15W wireless charging, a welcome touch given the smaller form factor of the Razr Plus. When you pair these enhancements with the Razr Plus's already sleek styling, you get a winning package, especially since Motorola offers the Razr Plus for $1,000, $100 below the Galaxy Z Flip 6.